And so we begin, not with the members of the Esoteric Society fleeing through the night from the boots of the Oxford police, but several hours earlier, in a smart townhouse where Ignatius Emberath has been invited to dinner. Early this morning you received a letter addressed to you from a Dr. Edmund Hughes, inviting you to dinner at his Oxford residence, claiming that he had knowledge of what had occurred at Birmingham and of your current situation. He claims he can help you. And so?
Well, I will go. I will put on slightly more normal clothing. I will leave the rabbit and the hat behind. I will have a cape. She'll be a bright purple cape. And I will have all of my things for my magical tricks and whatnot up my sleeve, so to speak. But I am slightly toned down, aesthetically.
Welcome. The door of the house is open. A maid opens the door and ushers you through. You see a smartly dressed gentleman. Neatly trimmed beard. Not sure if I have a picture of this gentleman. I can't remember if I made one. But smartly dressed, tweed jacket with patches on the elbows. Sorry, I hadn't got round to changing for dinner yet. This is just my day jacket. I had a talk earlier I was giving.
Oh, no need to put on airs. Do you prefer?
Hughes.
Nice to meet you, Dr. Hughes. Would you prefer me to refer to you with your honorific? How would you like me to address you as your guest?
Oh, however you wish. I don't stand on ceremony. Edmund, Hughes, either is fine.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Edmund. I'm Ignatius or Ignatius. You can choose the pronunciation. No need to refer to me as the grand magician, the greatest magician of all time, or the Lord of Secrets. All those titles can be dismissed as well.
Well, Lord of Secrets, would you come this way?
I will.
Please, come through. Excuse the mess. I let most of the staff go. It's just Daisy here and me at the moment.
Completely fine.
In need of a little work. A drink before dinner?
Oh, I'm already quite drunk, so no need.
We'll forego that. Daisy will be ready for dinner in just a moment. Please, come through. So, you got my letter?
I did.
Clearly, you're here.
Yes.
Yes, I was trying to track down all of Arthur's, what's the word?
Protégé is the kind word.
Protégés! That's a good word. Yes, all of Arthur's protégés, but it seems that unfortunately most of them are...
dead, insane, or missing.
Exactly, yes. You are the first one who's actually answered my letter.
Because they're all either dead, insane, or missing. I am literally the last one.
And you're not dead, insane, nor missing?
I am not dead. Some say that I'm insane only because they do not understand my ways. And I only go missing when I have to avoid jealous husbands.
Oh, that's a wise precaution. Yes, Robert, I can't remember his surname. He was... I got his location, but they won't send letters into Elbrook these days. Security risk. Yes. Yes, Arthur's little incident in Birmingham. Quite an unfortunate mess.
That incident has spanned many years.
Yes, these things have a habit of spiraling on out of control.
Well, any information you can give me, I Well, appreciate. I
know the broad strokes of what happened. I know that Arthur took the book, the one that could really do with a name, would help referring to it greatly. The Lacey book. That sounds an inadequate description.
You could honestly call it the monk book, because I've read it 3 times cover to cover. A lot of it that's left is about the monks. And I don't mean I'm going to say something that I very rarely say. And when I say it, I very rarely mean it, but I actually do mean it here. I don't want to offend you. And with all due respect, and I do mean with the respect that you're due, you have this home, you have your scholarship, you're a very accomplished man. What could you know about the situation without having read the book yourself or having been there? Did you talk to Arthur?
I have met Arthur Walsh, yes. Now, this whole mess began long before Arthur moved to Birmingham, you see. He was a student here back in the day. Before my time, obviously. And have you ever heard of the Veritas Dining Society? No?
No, I don't think that
as it stands at the moment, it is really a poor shadow of what it was when it began. A bunch of idiotic undergraduates getting drunk and thinking they can speak to ghosts or other such nonsenses.
Then
it would almost
I
be
might have been a
if they
member
weren't so dabbling.
Well, it's just it's funny that you describe it that way, because that was sort of what we were doing with Arthur.
Exactly. Arthur was once a member of it. Society. Dining club. In its early days, back when it still meant something, before it got diluted and corrupted into the poor shadow it is today. And when he left Oxford, Arthur took the book with him. He was here once. And off started his own thing, trying to make his name and make himself something more than he was.
Well, he was quite extraordinary.
He was a little man with grand delusions. But
I don't know if I would agree with that. I don't think a little man. I don't think he was. There's a certain type of bravery it takes to look these things in the face. And honestly, I will tell you this. Do you know a man named Ernest Chillingworth by any chance?
Rings a bell. But I can't quite place it. Isn't he that chap with the club down in London?
That I don't know. I'll just speak vaguely about a person. It may be him, may not, might be someone else. You see, he comes to an area where I'm at, and he asks for certain tools or artifacts to do a job, to get vengeance or closure, to protect himself, blah, blah, blah. Okay. He is profoundly stupid and cocksure and arrogant, and he chokes on his own hubris. I respect it. But he doesn't really know what he's doing, but yet he's still willing to do it. That, to me, is delusional. But some would say that me trying to get out of my bind is delusional because of all the things I know and could know. it's subjective. We are swimming in an ocean of subjective craziness. And I don't know if Arthur was any more delusional or crazy than anyone else, because at a certain point, we've all opened the door and opted to walk through.
I'm not saying he was any more delusional. No, I'm sure there's plenty more equally delusional people out there.
He was a good man. I think
He
you seem
ruined
to
your
be a good
life.
man.
You still call
What
him
was
a
that?
good man. He ruined your life.
He did ruin his life.
He led to the
He did
destruction
ruin my
of your
life.
friends. They're all dead, missing, or insane, and yet you still call him a good man?
Well, he is dead, missing, or insane.
Oh,
The
he is very
conclusion
dead.
cannot. The conclusion cannot be the only thing that we judge people on. Otherwise, we are all moral failures. Every last one of us. Take me, for instance. I go about. How do I say this? There's no way to say this kindly. I go about as a grifter, but I take money from rich people who haven't really earned it. And sometimes I get to know their wives in a biblical nature, although we do not do holy things.
As you're saying all this, Ignatius, could you give me a listen check whilst you're saying this?
Sure. And I don't hurt anybody. As a matter of fact, the only people that I hurt are bad people. So as I'm talking and make the listen check, I'm in love. The only thing I'm hearing is my glorious voice. Doesn't that make sense?
I suppose somewhat, yes. Ah, thank you, Daisy. Food's here. And the maid comes in, bringing through the dinner. Veal cutlets. Lovely, delightful.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I suppose it's all. You didn't study philosophy by any chance, did you? This does rather sound like a philosopher's line of thought. I've always preferred history myself. Give us real things that really happened rather than debating endlessly about what meaning and morals.
But history is no saint either, because the winner gets to write it.
Exactly.
Real things that really happened according to who. The only thing that's real is what you can touch, what you can consume, what you can do. For instance, this veal is real, and then when I get done eating it and consuming it, it will no longer be real. It will then be a real piece of shit, literally, as I've been described. Regardless, there's nothing else to be said other than I don't think he was a bad man. I think he horribly screwed up.
He did. He stole the book from the society and went off to found his own little cult.
We weren't a cult. No! We had way, way too many drunken nights where we didn't actually accomplish anything to be a cult. Cults get things done.
As you say.
And
then somehow he entangled you all in this shared delusion, this madness, this spiraling towards death that's coming for all of you.
I mean, we did choose to do it, though.
You chose to do it, yes.
There were signs.
He managed it.
There were signs that it was going to go bad. Like, yeah, look, most of the time we got really drunk and then we just had a lot of sex. And then we'd occasionally read stuff and light a candle and, ooh, spooky. And, I didn't take it seriously. But every now and again, I would see something that shouldn't have been there, hear something that I shouldn't have heard. And it wasn't the copious amounts of alcohol that was flowing through my body. I knew something was up. I just kept doing it. How do you turn down free whiskey and brunettes? It was just happening. It happened a lot, my man. It's very sticky.
Yes. As I said, Arthur's fell from the heights of learning and understanding to debauchery and hedonism.
I mean, he was way too old to get involved like that. Like he'd be like, "Oh, my back," and then go limp off. Like he was
He was always very devoted to his wife.
Probably. She seemed lovely.
She's lovely. Yes. Anyway, I have... Yes, a solution to this mess. That was the point I was trying to get to before we lost ourselves down memory lane. You want a way out, yes? You don't want to die or go mad or go missing.
I want a way out of this and a way into a rich widower. That is what I've been working towards.
Well, I can't promise any rich widowers.
Well, take a way out. I'll put the work in myself.
But I can...
What's it going to cost me?
It's not a cost. It's just... I can free you. I can undo what Arthur did. Break the connection that's pulling you down with all the rest. Set you free.
You want the book back, don't you?
To do so, I need Lacey's book back.
And you want to keep it, don't you?
Well, yes, I am a historian.
But that book is... How do I say this? The ownership of the book is widely contested.
I mean...
I don't give a damn about it because the book has damned me. I'm just saying, if I give it to you, and then a month later, angry people show up at your door, and they call you like a nerd, to quote the late great Augustus Green.
What does that word mean?
It means
you just made that up.
No, it means everything that you stand for being bad, and then you get hit in the face, and they laugh at you. That means not me.
Daisy, what was that? Bear with me. I'll be back in 1 moment.
Bob and weave, lateral movement.
And he see if he gets up and leaves the room for a moment as you're still talking.
Can I do a listen check to see what Daisy's saying?
Yes. As he steps outside for just a moment.
Oh, extreme.
You hear Hughes's voice. Yes. Just get it done. Get it done, or she dies. Very good. And
what did Daisy look like?
Young woman, reddish hair, probably about in early 20s. And don't interrupt me during dinner again. The door to the dining room opens again and Hughes returns. Sorry about that. One of my students calling at this late hour, asking for input on an essay that's due. I've told them never to leave stuff till the last minute like that.
Oh, yeah. I would be willing to give you the book. And when I give you the book, I would transfer whatever claim of ownership I have to the book, I would give you. I just don't know how much ownership that actually is. Does that make sense?
I am happy to deal with any irate librarians that come after you.
Librarians are some of the most dangerous and powerful people in the world. That's why I leave them be.
They'd like to think it that way, yes. Although
they have guns.
Librarians do not have guns. What kind of library have you been visiting? I tell you, I've acquired enough tomes and volumes from the Bodleian over the years to be quite sure that I have no fear of librarians anymore.
Have you fought a librarian?
I've never actually fought one. I pushed one off a ladder once when I was an undergraduate.
Did they die?
No, they didn't die. That would have caused quite the drama. No.
That should tell you something now, shouldn't it?
It wasn't even my idea. It was John's idea. But,
Well, you know what? Maybe, maybe a librarian's going to pop right around one of those corners one day and give you justice.
It was a long time ago, and I believe the librarian was approaching 70 at the time, so he is long dead.
You pushed... Well, no wonder the librarian didn't kill you. They were damn near retired. Anyway, you are a very interesting person. I see you. I see that you are very talented. So, how do you get me out of this? How do you get me out of this?
Easy. I am a powerful sorcerer who can undo the spell that Arthur cast upon you.
Well, that's fucking horrifying now, isn't it? Okay. All right. So, I'm gonna take this under consideration.
And that's the moment when you hear gunshots.
The librarians are here!
Outside.
I told you! I told you!
And, like, Hughes sort of leaps up from his seat and starts... You hear that it seems to be coming from the back of the house somewhere. You can just sound like gunshots ringing out through the night.
I'm going to run to where I think Daisy would have been.
So it's like down to the kitchen bit.
Yeah. I'm going to go, oh heavens, no! And my cape is going to flail, and then I'm going to run towards where I think Daisy is and be like, Daisy, beware the librarians!
You run the sort of through the door that Daisy went through, sort of the stairs down to the kitchens.
Yep. And I want to do a look. I'm trying to find like wherever this, if she dies, like person might be.
Give me a spot hidden as you come down the stairs. You see, coming from the other direction is this Daisy, the maid, looking startled, looking around, looking quite bewildered by the entire situation. But as you were in that way, you saw, as well as the stair down to the kitchen, you saw there was another door, sort of off to the side of the staircase. Quite a heavy old oak wood door. The reason it caught your sort of eye as you ran past is the very hefty iron padlock blocking it.
Okay, I'm going to make a mental note as to where that is in the house. I'm not going to try to open it up. And then I'm going to just continue on with my churlish chicanery and find Daisy.
Yeah, you found Daisy. She's down at the bottom of the stairs in the kitchen. What's happening? Huh? Is everything all right?
The librarians are here to kill... You did. The librarians are here, and they are going to kill your master. Do you have, like, any safe place that we could go? A safe room, well-guarded, that we could go?
We can hide in the scullery. This way.
Okay. Daisy.
Librarians don't know what sculleries are.
Do you have a... Never mind. Continue on.
In here. Is Dr. Hughes all right?
Oh, bye.
Where did he go? You just left him. I'm going to go make sure Dr. Hughes is all right. I'll be right back.
No, Daisy, no. You and I should talk. Daisy, you and I should have a conversation.
She hurries off upstairs.
Daisy, no. Daisy, when the librarians seek blood, they cannot be sated. Daisy, please, I'm going to try to persuade her to stay and talk with me for a second.
Give me either a charm or a persuade here, as Daisy sort of turns to go and make sure that her boss is okay.
Which one is better? Charm. Okay, charm. Extreme success. Now, Daisy, there are certain things that you should just leave to dangerous people. And your employer is a dangerous man.
Dr. Hughes, he's not dangerous. He's a historian.
And history is the deadliest weapon in the world, next to guns, especially those being wielded by librarians. You don't listen well, and that's okay. You're young. So listen to me. I have a question. Okay.
Yes, sir?
I'm here, you're here, and Dr. What's-His-Face is here. Is there anyone else that we need, whose safety we need to account for here in this house?
No.
I don't know if I believe her. Can I make a check to...
Yes, you can make me a psychology roll. Let's see.
Oh, God. You know what?
That's 30 points of luck if you want to spend that. That's quite a lot.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm here to play Call of Cthulhu. I'm gonna burn it.
There's a hesitation. You see, She always starts, like, her mouth starts moving, and just for a moment, her entire expression goes blank before she says no. Almost like there was a shortcut in her brain, like something switched off for that instant. She just shakes her head and goes, no. There's no one else here.
There's no one else here, okay. Daisy?
Yes, sir?
I think that you are very talented, and you could work someplace else that pays you more money.
Dr. Hughes pays really well, twice as much as where I used to work.
Where did you used to work?
Over at the colleges, Corpus Christi.
I don't know what you just said to me. It sounded like you insulted my mother. Let's go check on your employer.
As Daisy leads you sort of up the stair, and you emerge out the back of the house in what appears to be a back garden, just as you see Dr. Hughes shutting the back door of the garden.
Does it look anything out of sort?
He looks a bit like flustered.
Okay, Dr. Hughes.
Don't shh. I saw there's at least like 4 men running around out there with guns.
The librarians. You don't listen well. You're old.
Shh, we don't want to get their attention. I swear, there are armed men running across the meadows. Just.
What do they look like?
I didn't see what they looked like. There were several of them, and then I shut the door, and then I think I hear the police rattle and the police whistles. Like they should be here any minute. Until then, we.
The police.
Well, yes, people are shooting people in the meadows. Of course, the police are coming.
You want to talk to the police? Oh my.
Yes. There are madmen with guns on the loose, it seems. Or I have no idea what's going on out there, but.
Well,
Shh. Keep your voice down. We'll just sit here tight, and then we'll talk to the police once they get here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dr.
Hopefully they'll
Hughes?
apprehend those ruffians before then.
What were the men with guns shooting at? Did you know?
See, I didn't stick around to find out. They had guns.
I am shocked that you're so scared of guns, given what you know really exists.
Well, yes. Look, I can, do things, but guns are. I still don't want to get shot. It's incredibly unpleasant.
I understand. I tend to dodge that lateral movement that I was telling you about when they come to pick on you for being a nerd. Anyway, I am going to. Do you care if I go to the kitchen and get something to drink, something stronger to drink?
I think it's best. Best we probably call this a night for tonight. The drinks aren't in the kitchen; they're in this way. If you want a drink, come through. And he leads you back inside. And as he leads you back inside, we're going to go out to the meadows, where 4 madmen with guns are fleeing from the approaching Oxford police.
I bet I know what they look like.
Johanna splits off into the trees in one direction as the other 3 of you are. Well, where are you running? What's the plan? Where are you heading?
Back towards the inn.
Yeah, I think we're going to try and make our way back to the hotel we're stopping at, but although John Greaves isn't stopping there, but that's probably the best place to head to. We'll probably head, let's see, basically west, and we'll try to turn onto, I don't know, where are we running from? Was it Merton Field?
It was down on... Yes. Christchurch Meadow and Merton Field. Yeah.
I'm guessing the best option is to run. Depends which direction the police were sounding from.
The police sound like they're coming down sort of from the city centre. I'm going to say give me a group look roll here. whether the route you choose is going to avoid the police or cross paths with them.
Group luck.
So who's got the lowest luck out of the three of you, having, perhaps fortunately from you, misplaced Johan for the time being?
It's very true. We're going by the person with the least
23.
luck.
Yes, whoever's got the least luck.
I have 46.
I have 59.
Okay, give us a roll, D'Angelo, please.
Do I have to? Well, okay, well, good news. I rolled a 69.
Hey, nice.
It is not,
Bad news is
too high.
69 is higher than 23. So yeah, as you are trying to make your way back to the hotel where you're staying, you come around a corner and see a police officer with holding up a lantern, looking around. Stop there, gents. What are you doing out and about this evening?
Well, we were trying to get some air, but then apparently someone had started shooting in the night.
Yeah, over that way.
Some students messing about on the river, I think.
Okay.
Which seems a bit stupid of them, to be fair, but
Yeah.
students from the... Who knows?
I want a fast talk from one of you here.
Well,
Whoever said the most here, obviously, whoever rolls me fast talk first.
I have literally nothing in fast talk, so who's got anything in fast talk?
There's a lie.
Well, I got a 5, so we're willing to risk it all on a 5. Then I'll do it.
So,
Same
yeah,
here.
yeah. John, he looks to John. He goes,
There's,
now, sir.
Could I have assisted? Because we're all in this together at the moment, trying to...
Oh, I will be generous and give you a bonus die, so essentially a reroll, even though you are not entirely talented liars. Yes.
No, we're dreadful
Yeah.
liars.
Give me another roll. We'll see. I will.
Who should do the roll?
Still you.
It'd
You
have
are
to be
taking the
you.
lead on this.
Yes, though, yeah.
Okay. No.
Ah. Will you gentlemen please turn out your pockets?
Oh, yes, sir. And I do.
I'm gonna cast. Can I cast a spell?
Yes. Yes, you can.
I'm gonna cast Create Mist of Relay. I don't know how to pronounce that word.
Okay. Have you cast this spell before?
But I have not. I've not.
Please give
Was
me
it don't
a
think so.
power roll.
My goodness. My god. Oh my god. Do I get an extra dice because of the sword?
I don't think you do. No.
It doesn't do that, but you could be
No.
nice.
No,
Nice.
sure.
No.
Doesn't the sword provide
The sword
percentages or something?
It provides magic points. That's what the sword will do.
No, I wasn't sure if using an enchanted sword provides like 1% for every point put into like initial creation. I can't remember now.
No, it does not. And
That's been that much luck.
so, you feel as you reach for this spell, you feel it tugging and pulling away from you. You now have a choice. You can roll me another power roll and continue to push on and cast the spell. And if you make this one is a success, then you cast the spell without consequence. If this one is a failure, you still cast the spell, but there are slight effects. No, you
I'll
can
push it.
feel
Why not?
Yeah, it's pushing against you, it's resisting against you. And the mist starts to rise up.
Was that a
Around
fumble?
No,
Is
that
it?
was just a failure. Fumble would be 100. But this is a failure. You've failed at a pushed casting roll. So I'd like you to roll me 1d8, please.
This game hates me. 3.
Okay. So as the mist rises, as you call forth this mist, You get exactly that. This thick fog rising out of the ground, blanketing, closing round the buildings. But more so than you expected, as this thick fog starts billowing out across the city of Oxford, rising from the ground, filling the streets, the rivers, until just the towers and the tops of the buildings emerge out from beneath this thick blanket of fog. The police officer's lantern disappears to this dim glow, even though he's only standing a few feet away from you. Everything lost in mist. Was there a sanity roll involved with this spell? Or...
It doesn't say so. It just says 2 magic points.
Yeah, I think fairly minor spell normally. However, in this case,
I believe that might be enough cover for us to try and leave.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as this thick fog blankets the way,
I think the police officer's probably surprised by it as well.
Seems, well, you can't see his face. You can just hear his voice slightly muffled by the fog. What the hell is that? And you can't really see each other either. This fog is so thick and dense. Are you leaving or staying?
I'm leaving.
I'm leaving. Definitely the same route we were heading.
Okay.
Once we get onto a decent road, I'll
for a navigate roll, please, from whoever's leading the way here, as you attempt to find your way back through Oxford in the fog.
I have, let me see, 16.
Well, give me a roll then. You're taking the lead.
Unless anyone else wants to give it a go.
Well, which of your
characters
would be leading the way?
I think we're all lost here.
Hey,
equally.
that is a success.
It's my training in the catacombs of Paris. That's what it was.
Despite the thick fog, you managed to find your way back to the hotel. Stepping into the lobby, there's a few. You see the staff and the hotel owner sort of standing around the lobby. They seem to be looking with some amusement at this fog outside. And you hear one of them go, "Oh, that's uncanny. Never seen it come up so fast."
Mr. Greaves, Mr. Greaves, said you wanted to stop somewhere here tonight rather than make your way to your own apartment.
Yeah, if we can find a place, that'd be wonderful.
We can see if the desk of anything, because, I mean, with that fog, nobody wants to be wandering out in that. Especially with those gunshots at the other side of the city.
Indeed, yeah. And as a librarian without a gun on me, could be dangerous.
Yes. So try to go to the front desk where the reception is and inquire.
Yeah, we can definitely manage a room. No one wants to be out on a night like tonight.
No, and there's been some students messing about with guns by the river as well.
Is it guns or was it just
coming to?
I thought maybe it might have been fireworks, but who could tell?
You never know. Students these days.
Yes.
But hopefully the fog and that'll clear by the morning.
Indeed. Well, come this way, sir. Make up a room for you. Your other friend got back just a minute before you. He seemed a little out of sorts. Asked not to be disturbed.
Yes, I believe he's a diplomat of some sort, so who knows what they get up to.
I didn't want to ask, but just thought you'd want to know he was safe and well. Yes. This way. I'll talk you out of room. Is there anything else I can get you gentlemen this evening?
I think it's been certainly a day. I think probably just an early night. Well, it's not exactly early now, but just a rest and we'll be fine in the morning, I'm sure.
Okay.
Good.
Hotel bar still open for a nightcap?
Well, it can be arranged, sir. Yes. So, you're now safe at the hotel. Is there anything you want to do or discuss that evening?
I do have a question. Mortimer normally has a number of books. He wouldn't have brought them with him, but I'm wondering whether he would have brought the copy he was going to give Elsie, whether he would have brought that book with him. Because he'd done an arrangement with Elsie regards the unspeakable cults. He was going to be basically providing to society with a copy of one of his. I'm not sure whether he would have brought it with
give
him.
give me a look roll, let's say.
This is just
the fairest way to
brought
decide it. Yeah, just the way he just brought that one particular book.
See, just straightforward luck roll.
Yeah.
No, that's a fumble. He's probably brought completely the wrong book.
Yeah, probably he did not bring it with him.
No, that's okay.
Does the fog leave at some point?
Currently, still appears to be fog.
Angelo's gonna read the book of Abon before bed.
I'm assuming we're probably going to meet up at the bar and have a drink before we go to our rooms. That's just unless anyone else has any immediate plans.
Fine with me.
As long as there's non-society people who say innocent of the ways of the occult, as long as there's no servants and that nearby or staff.
Yeah, you can wait until you're on your own.
Yeah, it's probably best.
There's plenty of corners. You can find a space where you won't be overheard.
As we were running away from the police, I noticed the large house where that Dr. Hughes is at. I noticed someone vanishing into the door, obviously shutting the door behind them as we were making our run. So it looks like whoever it was saw what happened, but whether they were there whether they summoned the creature, I don't know.
You think it's worth us looking to find him?
Well, we do suspect him. Johan mentioned he believes Dr. Hughes is familiar with what the Star Walker is, that weird creature. And it does look like Aubrey Penhue set us up to be attacked by it. If we hadn't been hiding, it would have seen us earlier. So it looks like he told us to go there so that creature could be summoned to capture us. But the question is whether he's working with the Doctor or not is another question. But someone vanished into that house. I don't know who it was, whether it was the Doctor himself or a servant, but I think that house is definitely worth giving a check once it's light, once the fog clears, and once the police have gone.
You can pay them a visit in tomorrow.
Certainly a good idea too. Because by the look of the house, it's probably large enough to have like a basement or a cellar or somewhere to hide people. And it's not connected to any buildings, it's separated from everything, so it'd be a good place to hide someone. So whether Dr. Dale and Miss Smith being held captive there. Certainly worth checking tomorrow. But the fact that he knows about the Star Walker itself, which not everyone tends to know about those things. I didn't know until recently. Somewhat suspicious, but we should definitely give the place a check in the morning. After breakfast.
Oh, good plan.
Okay. Did any of you have any further plans for that evening?
No, that was quite sufficient.
Just reading.
I think from that fumble he's probably brought no occult books with him at all. So he's brought everything except them.
Okay.
So probably just relaxing, reloading guns, sort of thing.
Okay, so we go back over to Dr. Hughes's house over by Merton College, where Ignatius the doctor had led you back through to the drawing room, where he has a rather fancy and impressive walnut drinks cabinet. He starts to rummage around inside. Port, or are you more of a whiskey man?
Whiskey man.
Yes, of course. Very nice Speyside mould. This will do you nicely.
Thank you, thank you.
There you go. Yes, steady the nerves a little. Yes. I've never liked guns.
The great equalizer.
Yes.
I suppose they are especially aggravating for you because you're a powerful sorcerer, spellcaster, and yet it's the same for all of us. One bullet just ends it all.
Exactly. It's said that there are spells invented by German blood mages that can turn back a bullet, but I'm not sure how much credence I give to that. One hears all sorts of rumours of the...
I know a German man. He's quite industrious.
Is he bulletproof?
Sometimes.
Maybe there's more truth to that than...
there's quite a bit of truth to it. But it's also... I watched him one time. It's actually funny. He's madly in love with this woman, who's madly in love with him. But they're both very young and awkward. And just watching them makes me want to vomit. I'm just like, oh God. Just buy her the ring. Take her money. Anyway.
I think you have an odd understanding of marriage, but what would I know? I never married.
No, that's literally it. Like, you marry because you love people, and one of the best things loves about somebody is their money. Anyway, that strange German fellow is a capable man.
Not
the stupid name, but a capable man.
Johann Zutanen?
Yes, so you know young Johann.
Yes, he came to my talk earlier today.
He's just awkwardly capable, is how I would describe him. Did you like him? That's a no.
Struck me as a man who perhaps is not in full possession of all his faculties. But who am I to judge?
He's not. None of us are. I believe that the second that you get involved in this life, it just starts wearing away at you. You just lose more and more until you realize that what you even had, you almost didn't lose because you barely had it in the first place. Which makes it all a bit of a game, really, and you're just trying to go backwards to salvage as much as you possibly can, just to latch on to the bare minimum of what once made you you. And there, now you have an understanding of me.
A horrifying thought. That must be the police. Just heard a knock at the door.
You want me to talk to him?
Daisy, show them in, please. They'll probably want just a few cursory questions, I expect. I didn't see anything much. But... Sergeant. You see, as a police officer steps into the room. Dr. Hughes? I assume you know what this is about? You heard the gunshots a short while ago? Sorry, we have not... I don't think we've met before. The police officer turns to you. Sergeant Peters, Oxford Police.
Nice to meet you, Sergeant Peters. My name is Bob.
Bob. Do you have a surname?
Bobberton.
His name is Ignatius Emberath.
I was just trying to add some levity to the situation.
I'm sorry. There are dangerous criminals on the loose. We do not preach levity. Thank you, Dr. Hughes. A friend of yours, I presume? Yes. Now, did either of you two gentlemen by any chance see anything this evening?
I did see something.
Yes?
I was running through the house trying to find the maid, Daisy, to make sure that she was okay. I didn't know if the bullets had entered the house or anything like that. And I ran out, and then I saw my good friend here. And he was in his backyard. And he had us go back inside for safety. But I did see or hear, I guess, men running around this general area.
And Dr. Hughes? I ran outside to have a look in case there's anything I could do to help. And though when I heard the noise, I saw 4 men running across the meadows. Didn't get a good look of any of their faces, but they look surprisingly well dressed for ruffians.
Oh, I could absolutely. Oh, yes. I think I do know something.
Yes, sir.
I'm a London boy, and I have dreadful news. In London right now, there are some very posh criminals. They dress in such a way to throw people off of their trail, but they're just the typical type of hoodlums that you would know.
Give me a fast talk roll, please.
Absolutely. And it's horrifying, that they would do such a thing. Success. And it is, as I see that they start to buy it, I go, they would completely remove any and all trappings of criminality. In fact, they might look like, you might have heard of this word, a nerd.
I have never heard that word before, sir.
Okay, it's you need to keep your ears to the ground. Like somebody who's very studious and they read a lot and they don't have fun or smile because they're losers.
I'm
like
sorry,
that.
sir.
Anyway, but I'm saying, no, you have to listen. So if that's happening in London, it's going to happen here. They're throwing you off. You need to look for criminals who are like, they won't have their tie all the way on. They don't know how to wear the clothing proper, that type of thing. Does that make sense?
Sir, were you asking me to look for people who are intellectuals who read a lot in Oxford? Because, sir...
That's my point. Don't you see the genius of this criminality?
Yes, I will take this under consideration. Yes, sir.
That's right.
I best be on my way.
That's right. Ask them to spell words. If they can't spell, send them to hell. There you go. Yeah.
Well, I assume by that you mean bring them before the judge and ensure that they face justice.
That didn't really rhyme, but yes.
Discharging firearms in a...
Poetry is dead. Poetry is dead.
It's not a hanging offense, last I checked.
Poetry is dead.
Anyway, good night, sirs. Oh, God, that's quite the fog. Be careful if you're heading out. It seems the weather's taken a turn.
Oh, I'll probably spend the night here. Thank you.
And the police officer leaves, and Hughes says, spend the night here, will you? I suppose I can have Daisy set up the guest bedroom if you wish.
I was just making small talk. I'll wait until the fog is gone. Mr. Hughes, what spell would you cast to free me of my proverbial chains?
It is a ritual of sorts. I have about half the workings of it from notes of old colleagues of mine, but...
What are the components of the ritual?
The rest I require the book for. Well, components-wise, we do not have the artifact which... I presume you do not have the artifact which Arthur used to cast the ritual initially.
No, that is actually... You're talking... no. I know vaguely what you speak of, but not specifically. And that is what is one of the many things which plagues me.
But I believe I have something that might take its place, if needed.
Oh, what might that be? It's interesting.
A little something from my collection. Bring me the book and I will show you. I I'm not sure
Absolutely.
yet if it exactly will do the trick. It's a long time since I've read the Lacey book, and
I wish I had the foresight to have brought the book with me. It's in my hotel room.
yes.
And but for this fog, I would just go get it and then come back. But you can see how that might be
Yes.
problematic. I don't want to be accosted by these criminals.
Yes. Sounds dangerous out there.
These
Other than that,
posh criminals.
the rest, well, I think I have most of the necessary materials gathered. I don't suppose if you have the chance tomorrow before returning with the book, if you would call by a pharmacy and could you try and obtain me some laudanum and a little cocaine?
Oh God, you need that?
Yes, I believe that would
Well,
be
hold
useful.
on. Allow me to just give you some of my own.
Well, that saves us the job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I've never.
Sobriety is a sin.
I should do the trick. Other than that, yes. The book. And then, well, some people to carry out the ritual itself.
Oh, the
Now,
cultists.
I was going to call them undergraduate.
But earlier you
believe I
called
have some that
my
can do the trick.
undergraduate friends cultists. See, it's the discrepancies.
Well, I just,
Look,
I have some of my duties that I can finagle into assisting us with this as a piece of historical reenactment.
That sounds so boring. Here's something much more fun than that. Where are the wealthy widowers at in Oxford?
Look, I'm going to give you a little advice if you actually want to make it into society properly.
I've made it into society properly. I've just done it my way. That's what's so infuriating about it, is that I do things my way to get to places I'm not
You have
supposed to
made
be.
it into the vicinity of society. If you ever want to be truly accepted, you must really learn to express yourself more like a gentleman.
Well,
Else it will always be clear exactly what you are.
I think we both know what I am.
Exactly.
It's okay.
Now,
I accept your apology.
Clearing somewhat.
What's that over there?
What? The portrait?
No, but in this moment where I got you to look where I wanted you to look and act how I wanted you to act, that's how I got past being perpetually socially adjacent. And that's your lesson for the night. I've enjoyed our time together, Mr. Hughes, and I will bring you that book.
Hughes.
Oh, see, that's your way of telling me that you like me a little bit less.
Exactly.
Isn't it interesting how I say these things out loud? Well, Dr. Hughes,
Really understand
don't
the
be
art of passive aggression.
I know you're very British. You are so British, and I appreciate that. Anyway, Dr. Hughes, I do like you, and I'm not trying to just spar with you, but you have to understand that you were a little bit mean to me, but I didn't necessarily deserve it.
You may think you don't deserve it, but that is your own perspective on such matters now.
I'm sure they've written a lot of scholarly articles about such a thing. I'll bring you the book that you need. You'll perform the ritual that I need, and then we will have engaged in equal commerce.
Exactly. Fair arrangement. Good night, sir.
Good night. And I'm sure that this, and I say this, I lean in as I shake his hand and I say, I'm sure that we both consider this a matter of life and death. And then I politely leave.
Okay. So, you're heading back to your hotel.
Yep.
Now, Here is the question. Would Ignatius stay at the same sort of hotel as the rest of the society?
Oh, Jesus, yes, of course.
Yes. The finest hotel in town. So, as you entered in from... It's still quite foggy outside. The fog has not really cleared much. As you enter into the hotel and head up to your room to get, well, a moderately sufficient night's rest. Little does Ignatius know that just a few walls away, the other members of the society are settling down for their own nights, reading their books, cleaning their guns.
As I open my door, I am suspicious of the fact that my friends were the ones with the guns. So I'm going to open my door. Just before I close it, I yell as loud as I can, but I put my hand over my mouth to muffle it so it's disguised my voice. Nerds! Are the nerds here? And then I wait just for a second to see if anybody opens their doors before I close mine.
Gentlemen, please give me a listen check as you're just settling down. It's late at night. You're getting ready to go to bed. And you don't hear anything.
Oh, God. They're somewhere. Probably reading their books. Being losers. Probably sober, too. And I just go to bed.
Okay. Could you give me a power roll, Ignatius, please?
Oh, I knew it. I knew it. I knew you were going to say those words. I knew you were going to do it to me. Is this the one that I want to fail or pass?
You probably want to pass it.
Okay.
You get a moderately undisturbed night's sleep. And as morning rises over the city of Oxford, the fog has cleared at last, and the guests of the Mitre Hotel make their way down to the breakfast room for breakfast. And as you make your way down, depending on what order you arrive and who's there for breakfast, at some point, the four of you will cross paths with each other.
I probably would be the last to arrive.
Three of you are down for breakfast before Ignatius.
I assume you all slept well?
Certainly seemed that way. No strange dreams.
No disturbances in the night. No, good
It's
sleep.
nice, peaceful. Now the question is, what do we do about matter we need to deal with?
Did you still wish to investigate that other person you may or may not have seen?
Yes, the question is, do we try to find out his schedule? Because obviously he must do lectures or teaching, and whether we try to investigate the property whilst he's out. I'm not sure if there's a way we could find out what his teaching schedule is.
Not without asking someone. It would draw attention to us as well.
We know which college he belongs to, right? So did they post it anywhere? In one of the by the lecture halls, or was?
I mean, if you knew a history student, you'd be able to ask them what the lecture schedule was for when their various lectures and tutorials were scheduled. Or someone in the history department, yeah, they would know.
They wouldn't have it up on a board somewhere saying who was teaching when.
Probably not, no, you'd have to ask around, find someone in the history department.
So we will either need to decide if we are okay with drawing a bit of attention to ourselves, or we just have to go and see and hope that they are not present.
Well, we have an idea what the time the first lectures would be at, more or less. So we can just hope for the best and see how lucky we are. Investigate the property. I mean, we can probably hide somewhere nearby and check the property out and see if we catch him leaving for work.
And hopefully we won't run into that policeman again, or at least we will hope that he has a bad memory.
Oh, God, move. I want bacon.
What was that?
What brings you here, Ignatius?
You know?
I knew it. I fucking knew it. I 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 heard the stories of and I knew it had to be you all. Get your food, boys. We're going up to my bedroom. Bed.
I think introductions are probably a good idea at this time.
No, they're going to do it up in the bedroom. The room with the bed. Not just the bed.
This is another fellow member of the society.
You just don't listen. You're too old. Only people in the middle of young and old listen. I am Ignatius, the grand magician and musician now. The keeper of secrets, the wingler of figure. I don't fucking have time for this shit. Come on.
I don't believe I've had the opportunity to meet him before.
You're the famous author that Augustus talked about a lot. He really liked you. You made up. He read like 30 books, and like you made up like half of that. Let's go. Let's just go.
It's probably best to have breakfast first, and then we could discuss matters.
Why can't we just eat the breakfast in my bedroom where we can talk about the stuff? I have had a horrible night. A horrible, horrible night. And we need to talk now. It needs to be now. Please, now.
Well, I suppose it's possible. It'd be rude to the staff here, but
here, I pull out some money and I just put it down. It's not rude if you tip well. Let's just, please.
That's a valid point. Okay, I see no issue. Let's adjourn to your room.
Is this private business for the society, or?
Yes.
It's probably best. I'm not sure, Mr. Goose, whether you need to return to check on your own business matters first.
I should. It's getting a bit late. Oh, by the way, Ignatius, I am a librarian.
Oh my God! Oh, I did not mean to disrespect you. I am so sorry. I must shut up now.
Well, my name is John Greaves. Nice to make your acquaintance, sir.
I want to be friends. It's like, yes.
All right.
You should definitely come up because we have to talk about books.
Oh, that is the one thing I do know something about.
That and murder. Yes. Anyway, you're proficient in the art of. That's right. Yeah, you can learn anything. You're a librarian. Let's just go. Come on. We'll make our plates and then up to the bedroom.
I'm fairly certain the staff here have seen some strange things in their time. So
yeah, I've been here 3 times, so of course they have.
Yeah. Okay.
So I open the door and then pull out the chairs, pull out copious amounts of alcohol that I have on me at all times because I'm Ignatius. Mortimer, I have really stepped in it.
In what manner?
Okay, so I get this invitation from this horrible man. His name is Edmund Hughes.
Yes, he's a bit more than he appears to be, and
yeah, he's a psychopath.
Yes,
he's a psychopath.
Possibly also other things.
And he brags openly about his magic and his magical capabilities. And I'm over at his house. He sent me a letter, and he talks shit about all of my dead friends and Arthur. which I didn't really like. He was very disrespectful, and that's coming from me, literally from me, right?
Arthur whom?
Arthur, I am not sober enough to remember his last name. Arthur, he died in the volcano. That's probably it. Anyway, then he took my cocaine and laudanum. I mean, I offered it to him, but didn't really feel like he was asking. Anyway, I digress. He really wants the book. You know the book that I'm talking about. And he's like, and then I'm talking with him, and he has this woman that he's brainwashed. Her name is Daisy, and this is how I know it. She calls him in, and I'm listening. I'm a sneaky boy. I'm a sneaky boy. I sneak around. I listen to things. It's what I do. It's one of my many talents. It's how I live. And he says something like, "Don't interrupt me again. And if she dies, she dies." And then it's horrible. There's all these gunshots. It definitely was you, by the way. It was definitely you. Because, like, there were gunshots and it sounded like they all missed. So that's when I pretty much knew it was you. And then, anyway, so I'm running around, right? Like, trying to find, like, this poor woman that's going to die. And I run into Daisy and I get her to talk with me. And the first time that I thought, oh my God, she has to be brainwashed under a spell, is that she's a woman who didn't immediately want to talk to me, which is just, that happens like once every 5 years, if that. Okay. And then I ask her, like, if there's anybody else in here that we need to save, because there's all the gunshots and stuff, but I know that there's somebody that he has captive, and he has this crazy big door that's really barricaded, right? And is suspicious to a detective like myself. And then she starts to answer, and then, like, her face goes blank, and then she says no. It was like she was under a spell, and that's what she had to say. And then I talked to him later about what he's going to do, and he says, like, oh, it's a ritual, and then he has cultists, but they're students. But then he talked priorly about having cultists and students and not liking Arthur because of it. And I asked him, like, what he needed to do it, and he asked me about some magical artifact that I don't have, but it's the one from that crazy dream I told you about. And he goes, I have something else. And he's definitely talking about the human that he has behind that door. And then I really disrespected him when the cops came. But here's the thing. When the cops came, I told them that what's happening here is what's happening in London, where there's a bunch of criminals with guns who dress nicely. As a way to throw off the officers. So if you're ever around officers, make sure that you are dressed nicely, because that's all you dress, but make sure that your tie is done properly, your buttons are all, things like that. And I can't tell you why, but they're going to ask you to spell words, so don't choke.
Well,
so yeah.
It's probably best to bring you up to speed with what we're actually doing in the city.
Where's Elsie?
And that is where I shall be bringing you up to speed on. As a society, we were asked to investigate some disappearances in the city, in particular Dr. Dale. We had been asked by Mr. Greaves here to look into it. There was Elsie, myself, D'Angelo, and Johan.
Is Johan okay?
I believe I haven't seen him come down from his room. He went there okay, but I think he had a bit of a bad night, so perhaps he's had bad dreams or something. But then again, he may have left early to do with diplomatic stuff. He'd come to Oxford to listen to a talk by that Dr. Hughes.
Oh, anyway, God. I'd be insane too.
Yep, to digress. Well, Elsie has been, Miss Smith, we believe she was being abducted by the same creature behind the disappearances. We had been set up by one of the students. It led us to believe that something was happening by the river. We went to investigate, and the creature behind his disappearances just happened to turn up as we did. We didn't manage to kill it, but we did enough damage for it no longer to be a problem.
When you said you got set up, like they gave you information on purpose to lead to your demise?
Yes.
What was the student's name?
I believe Aubrey Penhew, I believe he gave the information to Mr. Williams. He might not have realised we were all going to attend, but may have thought he was setting up Mr. Williams.
Aubrey Penhew, that name sounds familiar.
Yes, But we believe Miss Smith has been held captive by this Dr. Edmund Hughes after the incident with the strange creature that we managed to get rid of. And we had to run very quickly because it took a lot of bullets. We noticed a door shutting nearby, and we noticed it was one for Dr. Hughes's house.
Was Aubrey Penhue? I'm sorry to interrupt. Was Aubrey Penhue? Was he the bloke that I made fun of?
Yes, he was the one that wanted to borrow the book that was actually his book, and you made a lot of fun of him. Yes.
Oh, is he alive still, Dr. Mortimer Davenport?
Who's still alive? Penhue?
Yeah.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mr. Greaves. Mr. Greaves.
Yes.
As a librarian, I know that you are skilled in the art of murder. Okay? This is a well-known fact by those who have attended uni. Now, I was only there for like 45 hours over 3 years total.
I would like to qualify that in that it only applies to those who have overdue books. I mean,
This is true. But Penhue is trying to get, like, our books, my book, or whatever. It doesn't really matter. I feel like knowledge is knowledge. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, he's a dick. And so I kind of wanted to, like, mess with him, but now he has to die. I always knew he was shady. And this guy has to die. So what I think you need to do is I need you to load up in, like, a wagon with all of your librarian friends, and then you need to descend upon them with the fury of the heavens. And then we'll be done here. Because this guy, he's talking about casting a spell and getting me out of this situation. But that ritual spell that he's going to cast isn't Hinbrew. This is, what's his face from yesterday. It's going to be even worse for him. So I think that between your schooling in the art of war and D'Angelo's ability to spin a narrative in case we need somebody to write an article for us, and Mortimer's magical prowess, you could take care of all of my problems for me, and I'll just stay here.
What ritual are you referring to?
He was going to cast some ritual. He wants... D'Angelo, I don't know this for a fact, but it appears that he would want to get the book and look at the spells in it, and then reverse engineer a component, because there's not... When we did the spell that ruined my life and killed all of my friends, there is an artifact in the middle of it, and he thinks he can find the substitute.
Miss Smith.
Would you like to see the book, D'Angelo?
Miss Smith had been studying the book, hadn't she?
I believe so.
So she would probably be the best person to reverse it.
I've slept for 2 hours, and I don't have my laudanum or cocaine, or as I like to call them, my sanity substances, so I don't really know.
But basically, we believe Miss Smith is held captive, and from what you were saying, we were pretty much correct in believing where she was being held captive. Did you notice any other servants in the place besides Daisy?
No, but he talked about cultists, and it was a pretty big house. A keeper, was it 2 or 3 stories?
3 stories. 3 stories.
3 stories?
Nice, freestanding. Well, actually, no, it's probably going to be a townhouse. It's got houses on either side, a garden at the front and the back.
Yeah, it's not gonna be good. So this is what I
4 stories
suggest.
if you count the kitchen in the basement.
Okay. Yeah, so it's 4 stories if you count the kitchen in the basement. Look, I am kind of a coward, and I'm a grifter, and I really don't care about any of those things because I'm in it to win it. But I don't want people who are good to suffer. And Elsie, she is kind of dumb and really annoying and doesn't really know anything. And she tried to kill me with that painting. And I don't really like her voice. And she could probably dress a little bit better. But in her heart, she's probably not horrible. So it would be okay if we saved her.
Well, let me see this book. If I can figure out
Bam!
where.
It is right in your face.
Thank you. If I can figure
Magic
out
trick.
what they intend to do, perhaps I can help us beat him to wherever their next location is going to be.
That sounds great. I'm gonna go get some cocaine. Bye. Boom. And I'm out to go get cocaine in Laudanum.
Okay, let's see. So, as to our plan to rescue Miss Smith, we should really set off soon.
Just give me a few moments. Am I able to figure out what this ritual is supposed to be or supposed to do?
Depends how
Knowledge.
long do you want to take to try and study this?
Let's do an hour. So solid hour, and then we leave.
To get some information out, this will be a hard language own roll, trying to work your way through this book.
Maybe an intellect roll instead?
No.
My
No,
goodness, I never get
So
anything.
working your way through, you think that the
Can-
ritual is contained within Lacey's translation of the monk's original ritual, but it would take more time and more study to understand what exactly it is the ritual is and what exactly might be used to untangle the ritual. Also, the one thing you do get is Lacey's translation is of an incomplete text. There's parts missing. This was never the full ritual. All this information missing from this book. And with your knowledge of the occult, you probably determined that if you would try and just use this book to cast the ritual, it would probably end badly.
Boom! I'm back. Sorry. Okay.
Does the Book of
I'll just-
Ibon have any extra details that would help me with this book?
Do you want to spend some more time to study the Book of Ibon?
No, we need to leave.
You can give me a mythos roll
Well,
against that book if you spend another hour or so studying and looking for information.
Oh, unfortunately, I'm going to need some more time to get anything of use out of this book. I can tell you, however, that this ritual is incomplete, so trying to make a new ritual based on this information is a fool's errand, and it is more likely to cause some other effect or do nothing at all than it is to be useful.
Well, that makes sense. Did you see my note about dream lore?
This one you wrote in... Yes, this one inside the margins in red ink?
Yes.
I do see it.
It just says use dream lore. I'm going to attempt to use dream lore.
Okay, what are you attempting to do?
I am attempting to think about dream lore and apply it into like what would happen with an incomplete ritual, with my knowledge of like you can see dreams, especially powerful people's dreams that you're not supposed to see, with an artifact. And I'm throwing everything at the wall in my manic psychotic brain.
You don't really know based on that roll.
D'Angelo, I've come to a determination, which is I have no.
I see. Unfortunately, if we are to try and get anything more out of this, I'd need to spend more time. But there's no guarantee that we can waste more time here without looking for Miss Smith. So we have a choice to make. Do we wish to learn as much as we can, or attempt to do what we can for her now.
I have a plan, but it's not good.
The only thing I'll just add here is D'Angelo's been studying the book for over an hour, isn't? Mortimer's probably already left.
Yes, I was going to say, where has Mortimer gone during this time?
Well, because I'm suspecting D'Angelo probably went to his room to study the book for an hour. Or unless he's just gone to collect the book and studied it somewhere with Ignatius.
He would go into his room.
Yeah, because Mortimer would have already left to check the property of Dr. Hughes.
Okay.
Obviously not walking straight up to the door, but...
So Mortimer's heading over to the house.
Just the streets nearby to...
Back at the hotel.
Yeah.
And John, whereabouts are you during all of this?
Well, we were talking, but if everyone's making their exits, I'll head back to tend to my business, the library.
So John has gone to the library, Mortimer has gone to the house, and Ignatius and D'Angelo are studying books. And we'll pick up with Mortimer heading to look around the house in about 10 minutes' time after the break. I need to go get a glass of water. See you back in just a moment. Mortimer. Leaving the others behind at the hotel, you head across the city towards Dr. Hughes's house. You can see this impressive multi-storied townhouse with kitchen on the lower levels and then 3 stories above that. So 2 main stories and one that's up into the roof with roof lights. There is a little bit of a garden at the front and steps leading up to the front door. And you know from Ignatius's description that there is a garden at the back with a door leading out onto the green. What is your plan for approaching this situation?
My plan is to look as casual as possible. Just a doctor about his daily business with his little doctor bag, just wandering down one of the streets that happens to pass within line of sight of the property. And as he does so, he's just going to just basically see what he can tell first glance of the property if he spots anything. As he makes his way past, he's not going to stop and stare, he's just going to walk past it.
Okay. You can catch a brief glimpse through into a couple of rooms on the lower floor. It looks to be perhaps a dining room and a drawing room. The curtains on the upper floor are currently closed.
There doesn't seem to be much movement of servants. For this size house, normally they'd have a lot of servants, but...
No, not a lot of movement.
Is it a walled property, or...?
There's a wall around the garden at the back. At the front, there's just a bit of iron railing.
Okay.
And a little gate, and then a steps up to the door.
So I can see through the railings into the...
Yes.
Yes.
You see down...
I wasn't sure if they had a tall wall around it.
No, you can probably see down to the kitchen level where... you see some movement down there. There's smoke coming up from the chimney of the house. So there's at least one fire burning in there.
What's the weather doing at the moment?
It's a little drizzly this morning. There's a shower of rain. It's cleared up a bit.
Yeah. Not the sort of weather you could sit down on a bench and relax in.
Depends how determined you are and if you brought an umbrella.
Unfortunately not. I'm just looking at the map. I think Mortimer will just probably carry on his route. I'm trying to think where the library where Mr. Greaves would be in relation to Burton Fields.
The Bodleian's probably, I think, up towards... near Gorval and Keynes, I think. But wherever that is. For some reason, the Brotherhood Library does not seem to be marked on this map of Oxford, which I feel is a severe
It's terrible.
oversight. But it's up towards the city centre way, if I remember correctly.
But I know which college the doctors teaches at, do they?
Yeah. The library is just up. Where's the Radcliffe camera?
It's somewhere.
It's up here next to the colleges.
That's okay. Which college does Dr. Hughes teach at? Do I know that one? Was it Corpus Christi?
I believe so, yes. Based on our... Yes, Corpus Christi.
I'll probably just walk towards the library, I think. Just follow the route around, a nice scenic route around the Broadwalk and the river, and just turn up into the main part of Oxford towards the library.
Okay, are you hoping to achieve anything particular, or just going for a walk?
Just go for a walk and look as casual as possible, as if someone just went for a walk down around the river.
Okay, please give me a look roll as you go for a walk around the river.
It could have been worse. Let's see.
Okay.
Oh, extreme success.
As you're making your way up, across the high street, back up towards the library direction, you see a familiar face coming the other direction. You see Aubrey Penhew coming the other way. Hurrying along, he's got actually, he'd be heading the same direction. He seems to be heading towards the library. He's got a couple of books he's holding in his arms.
Oh, good morning.
Morning. Morning.
You just head into the library as well?
Yes, I've got some books to return.
That's always best. You don't want those librarians after you.
No, they get quite irate. Are you heading to the library too?
Yes, I do have an interest in books.
Right, yes.
Have you seen Mr. Williams? I believe D'Angelo Williams. I think you've met him before.
Yes, I was going to say, did he pass along the message from yesterday?
I haven't seen him since yesterday.
You haven't?
No, I'm not sure. I was meant to meet him for breakfast this morning, but I'm not sure where he went.
Give me a fast talk roll, please.
Fair enough. Well.
Oh.
It's just rather strange.
You've not seen him? Right.
Not today. Not for some time.
Well, I saw him yesterday. I told him... No, I was looking around asking about the Veritas Society students. What
yes.
they're up to. So I found out they were planning something down on Merton Field. I told Mr. Williams about it.
Oh, this would
I thought he'd have told you and the rest of them.
Oh, you mean those three young lads?
Yes.
Oh, it's possible
Montgomery
Mr. Williams passed the message on to Johan. Possibly.
Have you seen him?
Not since last night, actually. I think I saw him briefly running into the hotel. It did seem rather out of sorts.
Yeah, and they didn't say anything about this to you.
Nope, he didn't say a thing. He just shut his door and locked it.
Well, I caught sight of Spencer this morning. He seemed his usual irritating self, so I don't know what happened or didn't happen.
But did you see Johan today then?
No.
No.
Not seen him. What was I going to say?
But But anyway, sorry to interrupt you. We're heading the same way, so...
Yes. Yes, we are. Yeah.
I don't remember, what were you studying? Was it history or classics?
Classics.
Or
Classics.
classics?
Yeah. There's a fair bit of history involved. I consider doing history, but this is a sort of walk and talk as you're heading
Yeah, pretty
in the
much.
direction of the library. But in the end, it's classics that won out. That's enough.
Where do you see yourself as a career move?
Well,
You are also, I believe, the 19th Baronet of...
that's hardly a career. A baronetcy
Well,
alone, there's not a lot of land in the family, or a good deal of money.
fair enough. I don't have much of an understanding.
I always,
of,
well, the reason I always went to study history is, for a long while I wanted to be an Egyptologist.
It seems to be rather popular these days.
Yes, my mother was not approving of the idea. She said it was a fad.
But you should be allowed to study what you want in your free time.
Well, yes, and with a little seed money, then it might be possible to get an expedition together one day. Who knows? Who knows? One can dream. Here we are.
That's true. Well, I'll leave you to it.
Yes, I'd better go return these. If you don't. If you're sure you've not seen Mr. William, you should probably look into it, because if they've done something, if they've I know they seem harmless, but if you actually haven't.
I did leave rather early from the hotel, so
Right. Well, good luck with everything.
yes, and same to you.
And he heads off to return his books.
Yeah, I'll just head in a different direction within the library. In fact, I'll probably head to where I believe Mr. Greaves is likely to be working. He's probably an office or head librarian or something along those lines.
Yes, yeah. You can find your way over to Greaves's office.
I'll just have just knock on the door.
Oh, doctor, come in. Come in.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I bumped into that young gentleman, Penny. I wasn't quite sure how to...
How'd that go?
Well, I think he suspects I'm not being completely honest with him, but I didn't say anything out of the ordinary, really.
Okay.
Wasn't entirely sure how to deal with the matter, whether he's responsible for setting us up, or who is responsible for setting us up.
Well, it seems that he was the one who directed us to be in that particular place at that particular time.
True, but who gave him that information in the first place?
Right.
I do suspect it is Dr. Hughes again, but I don't want to make him too suspicious. Anyhow, I've just had a quick walk around where Dr. Hughes's house was. Doesn't seem to be much movement or servants around. The upper floors, the curtains are still drawn. But I thought it was best not to approach the place on my own.
No, it wouldn't be good to be caught peeking in the windows.
No, not at all. But probably need to catch up with the others at some point. I'm not sure how busy you are today.
Today's actually a fairly light day. Most of the library business is caught up. Only a few overdue books, but that's someone else's problem today.
Yeah, if we head back to the hotel, Mr. Williams might have finished reading through that book.
All right.
And we might have some more answers.
Right, and I'll talk to my assistant and say I'll be back in a while.
But I just need to check something quickly with Penny whilst he's about, if he's still around. I think he's just dropping off some books. Did I see where he went to keep her when he arrived?
Yes, you saw him drop off some books, and then he's wandered over to the Latin biographies section. He's
Fair
pouring
enough.
along a line of
Yeah.
books.
Yeah, Mr. Graves, I just want to have a quick word with Pennu. I hope you don't mind.
No, not at all.
Mr. Pennu, sorry to disturb you. But a quick question for you. You mentioned about the information you gave to Mr. Williams about the meetup.
Yes.
Where did that come from? Because I don't think you get along with those students that well.
No, I...
Did you overhear it from someone?
I must have done, yes. Yeah, I must have overheard it somewhere.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. There's 3 students that, can't remember them now. Was it Spencer?
Bennett.
And Carter?
And Carter, yes.
Yeah, anyway, sorry, it's just one of those things, as my mind was just wandering a bit, seemed a bit scattered for a moment. Anyway, sorry to bother you.
Yes.
I'll have to make my leave.
Yes, you've not got any closer to finding Miss Smith. Because as I said, if there's anything I can do to help, anything.
I do believe I know where she may be, but I'm not sure. I need to chat to Mr. Williams, Johan, and the others to see if they have any more information. But hopefully this disappearance will be ending soon.
If you need any help, well, you know where to find me for the rest of the time.
Definitely. How's best to contact you?
Leave a message at the porter's office.
It's very likely we could do with some help from yourself, but I'll let you know as soon as I know
I can come
something.
with you if you want some help.
Oh, I don't want to interrupt your studies.
I mean, I think this is rather more important than, you know.
It's okay. We'll definitely.
Books about the Catalan conspiracies. This is now, like.
I'll definitely be in touch. Don't worry.
Okay. Right.
Don't worry. I'm just having a bit of a walk this morning to clear my head a bit, get some fresh air by the river.
Right. I'll probably be in the library this morning. I've got a few bits of other study to do, so.
No problem.
I'll be here if you're looking for me.
Thank you. Anyhow, I'll make my leave and head towards Mr. Greaves. Well, that was a bit strange.
What happened?
Well, I was just curious how the young lad found the information about the meetup with the other students, because they're not students who like him or interact with him, and he can't remember how he got the information.
Mm-hmm. That does seem a bit odd.
He seemed very... He does wish to help. He does wish to help Miss Smith. But the confusion is, I am aware there are ways to control people's minds with this unusual... These things. It's a bit strange.
You mean like using him as a pawn?
Yeah. I think like sort of mesmerism, hypnotism, that sort of thing.
Mm.
So I suspect someone hypnotized him or did something along those lines to have him pass the message on and set us up, which is why I thought it's best not to involve them any further in case they have some degree of control over him.
Right.
But yeah, that's curious. Ignatius mentioned something about the maid at the house having been a bit off as well with her mind. But
had Penhughes seen or spent a great deal of time with Hughes just recently?
I'm not sure. I do. He's a student. I think he had an interest in history, but I'm not sure. But I believe so. But
I think it was D'Angelo and Johan that met Penhugh after his tutorial with Hughes. So Mortimer wasn't here. Yeah.
So I'm not entirely sure, but it's very likely he has encountered him in his studies at some point. I mean, it's too much of a coincidence, really, but yeah, we probably need to meet up with the others and decide on a course of action, but either way, I think we'll have to get into the house today.
All right, you know where everyone else is?
Yep. Probably likely the hotel if it's not been too long. Probably just finishing off their book.
All right. Well, if you want, let's head back.
Sounds a plan. So I think we'll head back to the hotel to meet up with the others if they're still there.
Yeah, they'll still be there. This probably realigns our timelines as they've finished going through some of the books as Mortimer and John return.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Well, I went for an interesting walk along the river to have a look at the property. The second floor windows were still curtained. There was no movement in the house. I couldn't see anything going on there. It didn't seem to have as many servants as you'd expect in that sort of property. Most properties would have.
He did say that he sent them away, and he made it a point to tell me that almost immediately. It didn't make sense to have a lot of servants at right now, which didn't really make sense, but I didn't care because it was like the start of the conversation.
If he's planning to do something magic-wise, it's probably best not to have that many around.
He has the cultists, and I think that if you bring in cultists, you have to get rid of the normal folk.
Well,
Mortimer, I have a plan, and I want to run it by all of you.
There is one more thing I wish to give you first information-wise. Bumped into that young lad, Penny, again, on the way to the library, and I'm under the impression he has been mind-controlled. I believe the information he gave us to meet up at some point was a false lead. He seems rather confused about how he got the information and who told him.
Okay.
So I think.
Well, I guess we don't have to kill him.
So I believe he is hypnotized and mesmerized in some fashion by someone else to give that information over to us. So I've told him we'd probably be in touch if we need his help. He's quite happy to volunteer, but if he was mind controlled, it's probably not a good idea to involve him.
I'm so suspicious because he's so gung-ho about this. I feel like he could either be lying or he could be brainwashed, or the person that brainwashed him wasn't even the person that we think that it was. We just work with imperfect information a lot. I do have a plan. Actually, I think that it is, having heard all that, I think it's a more reasonable plan now. I'm supposed to come over today with the book. It wasn't really a specified time when, it was kind of left open. So I'm thinking I might go at evening, when it's dark but not, completely devoid of light. And then as I go in and I have the book and all of that, you might all be able to come in and infiltrate from the yard. It didn't seem like there was great security, quite frankly, and there won't necessarily be, I think, a bunch of cultists at 5:30 or 6. So that is my idea. I'm fairly certain that Elsie's there, but locked in that door. So we need to bring something that can break down a heavily guarded door, both in terms of just a normal door and in terms of magic.
Or we could just get the key.
I feel as if that is not a bad idea, but I don't know. This guy is so devious. Like, I just kind of want to almost wash my hands of it, but we can't. And then I'm concerned, what if they have the monster that what did you call it? The He had a name for it.
Starwalker.
What if he has that? What if that stays at his house?
I don't
We
believe
just don't
it was in
have information.
good condition after we dealt with it. How
True.
good are you at sleight of hand?
I'm incredible.
Um,
I'm professionally inclined to be slight with my hand.
I'm
What?
thinking
That sounded better than I said when I'm good. I'm good.
You said you were going to meet up with him.
Yes.
Now, whether there is a way you could actually drug him.
Well, see, it dawns on me that I fucked that up thoroughly, because if I had brought him the laudanum or the cocaine, I could have dosed it with something. But since I gave him mine...
It was probably not for him. Probably for somebody who's keeping drugged and captive.
Wait, do normal people not just take lots of laudanum and cocaine?
A lot of people do as well.
What? A lot, not all?
No, times are changing, unfortunately.
How many vials of cocaine do you go through a week?
I don't go through any at the moment. Not on my own use, anyway.
I am rethinking my... Nah, carry on. Anyway, that's one plan. I have another plan. My other plan is we just burn down his house and hope Elsie isn't there.
Probably not the best of plans. It'll draw a lot of attention and people see us in the light.
I was telling Mr. Ignatius here that it is a choice that we will have to make. I could spend more time trying to understand what of a ritual they are attempting to make. If we do so, then it may make us slower for Miss Elsie. If we are planning on speaking with her later in the evening, it may be a good idea for us to, at least for myself, to spend the next few hours trying to learn as much as possible. But that would also mean is that I cannot assist you with anything else during that time.
I'm going to ask a really ugly question. Do we have any spells that can just kill people from a distance?
It is best to not rely on things we barely understand.
There are some, but it's always a bad idea to cast anything. It's always dangerous. You don't know who's listening or watching, or what is listening or watching. And the cost tends to be much higher than you realise at the time.
Okay, I'm going to ask another horrible question. What if I had a spell, just hypothetically, and it could destroy one's sanity? The target of the spell, not the caster.
Good distinction.
I would warn you to not trifle with things beyond your understanding.
These things trifle with me, D'Angelo. They trifle with me.
Even more the reason to avoid their lore.
Well, I just don't see a good... Look, like I said, Elsie is pretty horrible, and being around her kind of makes my head hurt. I presume everyone feels that way. But she shouldn't be chained up and dying. If she dies, she dies. It's etched into my brain indelibly at this point.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. I think they were not sure about the dosage. They were keeping it dosed up for a long period of time. It's never a good idea to keep that sort of thing going.
Yeah, I have learned my limits through trial and error. Mostly trial, not as much error as you might think, oddly enough.
Keeper, I'm just thinking, would I know of any way to sedate someone quickly?
You would know a way. I, not being a medical doctor, don't know a way, but you would have access to some form of reasonably rapid acting sedative.
Something that could be put in a drink that would dissolve quickly, or...
I mean,
there are substances
there are
about,
substances around. Said I, off the top of my head.
Yeah, there is chloroform, but that's
You have to hold it over someone's mouth for quite a bit before.
yeah.
Take 'em
Also,
out.
the smell's quite obvious. I haven't experienced it myself, but I know. Well,
Yeah, if you smell chloroform before, you realise, oh, this is a massive bottle full of chloroform.
but yeah, I'm thinking of something that would. If it doesn't work straight away, it'll at least disorientate them enough to make them vulnerable to, I don't know, manipulation, we'll say. But
he's horrified of guns. We started talking about guns, and I could tell that he was upset that they existed because they like really screwed him over. And he started talking about protection spells, and he seemed to earnestly not know much about them. He didn't seem to have any. So I know that they're loud, but Augustus talked about like if you put like a potato on the barrel, they're not as loud.
there is that option, but I might have something different, but which would be much quieter. But let's hope we don't. As soon as we start shooting, it's going to draw the police again.
Right. So if the police come, we need to bring extra clothes. That way you can strip down butt naked and then get into like different clothes, and then you won't be in fancy people's clothes and they won't suspect you. I set this up.
Keeper, with my knowledge of the occult, do I have any experience with mind controlling the things?
Give me a Cthulhu Mythos roll, please.
Much low. Am I making an occult roll instead?
You can make me an occult roll. It'd be very different information. There is a fashion and trend for the use of mesmerism to try and understand people's minds, to supposedly be able to compel people to do certain things. It is a fairly new science, and definitely a science, as far as many people are concerned. And although there are a few out there that claim that some of followers of these various schools of Dr. Mesmer's been around for a while now. Let's make sure that my timelines are... Oh yeah, that's I can tell looking by his picture. Yeah, so...
Well...
Mesmerism is a known thing, and there's various stories and reports of people being able to control people and make them do things and set them into fused states.
Well, I cannot speak to your mind control theory. However, if we are dealing with someone who is a practiced mesmer, then I would recommend being ready to divert your eyes. There's no evidence that they are able to truly control your thoughts, but a distraction at an impromptu or inopportune time could be devastating.
So, what plan have we got? I think, Ignatius, you said you had a meeting, or you were going to meet with him.
Yes, and so there's two ways this plan can go. I can either bring all of you in there with me and tell him, hey, these are some of the people that I met, and they seem to know where the artifact is, and they wanted to talk to you, and I can lie. I'm really good at lying, like incredibly good at lying. Or I can lie to Daisy and try to get her to leave like the back door open or something, and tell her that he told me, tell her, and come up with a reason for why I was going back in the kitchen, probably to get like booze or something. Now that is dependent upon my ability to go there and not get jumped immediately or whatnot. So there is that. I like the former, because at the very least we can kind of, if we had to, storm our way in and maybe we're not too loud type of deal. I mean, everything that we do is all or nothing.
It is. Well, I could give you something that you might be able to slip into a drink that Dr. Hughes is about to drink.
I'm not that type of gentleman.
To,
I could. He didn't really seem to be a heavy drinker.
No, but
It was like
you might share a toast or something with yourself. I mean, if you were to bring in the book, you could have a drink whilst you discuss it.
He kind of hates me. I kind of disrespected him towards the end, which is just kind of what I do.
But you have something he wants.
I have a lot of things that people want.
So, whether you think you could bring one other person with you, and the other two of us try to make use the other entrance to the house.
We could do that. Which one of you is the least aggressive?
I believe that would probably be me.
And
does he know you?
He may have seen me from time to time.
He'd probably know you as the librarian for the place, but
D'Angelo, does he know you?
I don't believe so. Outside of being an author, anyway. Few people have read my works.
But the best people have read your works. I think we should all just go up together. Because if I could think it from a logical standpoint, saying this is the Esoteric Society, I had met them, they happened to be in town, I knew them through a man named Augustus Green, and they think that they have the artifact that we were talking about. Because if he's already targeting you, I will tell you this, he thinks all of you are dumb. He thinks everybody is dumb. So he would probably be more than happy to have all of you show up and walk into his lair.
you could say that we have shared ownership of the book.
Yeah, that is true.
That would be the reason for us all being present.
That is true. That there is a shared ownership, and you just want to talk about a couple of details, like book trading, that type of deal, because that's what you do, Mr. Mortimer, right?
I do sell books. Well,
Okay.
Not so much these days, but
Okay. Well, I think we should do that, and we should definitely all bring guns. He's horrified of them.
yeah, most people are.
I'm not. I figure if I get shot in the head and then I just die, then I'm just dead.
But I do think it would be a good idea to see if it would be possible to drug him as well.
Well, this is true. I have plenty of drugs. Do you have drugs that you want to have me to have? Because we can have a multi-layered plan. If he lets us all in, we're drinking and drugging them, and then we have the guns in case there's a cultist, and then we can try to get the key, and then we'll bring stuff to try to knock down the door. I mean, basically our plan has devolved into we just show up and hope for the best, which seems
Sounds like it.
on brand.
So spend some time coming up with something that will be suitable to sedate him. Perhaps even if it doesn't work straight away, it'll probably make it difficult for him to concentrate on any magic as such.
Okay, so you've mixed up a sedative, you're taking your guns, and the plan is to show up at Hughes' front door.
Yeah,
At about 5:30 to
all his
6.
guns. Sorry.
D'Angelo's will spend that time studying the ritual between now and then.
Okay.
The only Mortimer's not going to take his usual guns. He's going to take the one he's not used yet, the one that Morgan had given him, which is a much larger firearm than his standard pistols.
So very obvious that you're carrying a weapon when you turn up.
Well, he's going to keep it in his medical bag.
Okay, so you're turning up at his door with your medical bag.
Yes. I always go everywhere with that.
Oh, but that makes sense because I might get hurt during the ritual.
Well,
That is true.
I mean, I'm a doctor, so I'm likely to carry my stuff around with me anyhow. But
I often forget that you're actually a doctor.
Keeper,
Yes?
the chances Mortimer would have his hand crossbow in the medical bag? Because I'd mentioned before he used it as like a party trick type thing.
So, what are the chances that you would happen to have packed a hand crossbow in your medical bag for a trip to Oxford?
The fact is, I've got various poisons and drugs, and it's
yes, but those are
vital-
reasonable things to have in a medical bag. I'm going to say
It's not reasonable, but it's reasonable for Mortimer to have, because there's a reason he learned to use it. Because guns are loud.
you can give me a look roll.
Oh, I'm so
There's
unlucky.
no way of handling unlikely.
A hard success.
Yes, somehow you've fitted a hand crossbow inside this medical bag.
It is only, to be fair, as I said, it's only a small crossbow. It's more like a tiny pistol, more or less.
Okay.
Actual damage isn't big. It's mainly for shooting small targets at like a party thing, just a showpiece thing, really.
So you've got a gun and a crossbow in your bag.
Yeah.
Is
The
anyone
crossbow
else?
won't be loaded, obviously, because you can't.
Is anyone else bringing anything in particular with them? Anything unusual?
I'm
I have my
checking.
gun, the sword, and and the book of my bond.
I have no weapons. I'm playing the anti-Augustus.
D'Angelo, you carrying your sword openly? This is my nice rapier.
Yeah, it's peace bonded though, so it's not not weapon, but so it's safe.
And John, are you taking anything unusual to visit this house?
John is one who does not normally carry weapons.
A
Not
normal
being
person.
right, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So, having gathered everything, you head over about 5:30 to Hughes's house. D'Angelo, you've had a chance to study the ritual in the meantime. This ritual that was in the book you had was the ritual that Ignatius had originally taken part in several years ago. So this was to see into dreams and to connect minds. That's the purpose of the ritual in the book. You do get the distinct impression that it's not an entirely complete ritual, and it probably would end badly if you tried it.
Do I feel like I know how to stop it if their thing were to happen?
Yes, you think if someone tried to do this ritual again, you'd be able to disrupt it. So, you arrive up at Hughes's door. Who's taking the lead here?
I am dressed exceptionally silly, even by my own standards. I have 3 capes. One is red, one is white, one is blue. Since we're talking about guns, it seems only fair. And you will all love that
The
joke.
good old
I don't
colours
give
of the
a damn.
British flag, obviously.
That is clearly. And I have my monocle on, my top hat with no bunny, not that top hat, and 3 ties, because fuck it, why not? And I just pound on the door.
And Daisy opens the door.
Daisy, we are expected. How are you, my dear?
I am well. Sorry, I didn't.
Can we come in, please?
know we were
It's
expecting a full
frightful
party of
outside.
Guests.
It's not a full party. We won't be here too long. They won't be here too long.
Let
It's just
me take your coats and your capes, and let me take your bags.
no,
sir.
not the capes, not the capes. I'm a showman. That's the brand, Daisy. Don't hurt the
And
brand.
Daisy sort of
It's
offers,
okay.
taking bags and coats and popping them in the
The
cloakroom.
mortal will keep hold of his bag. It's
Sir?
He's a doctor. He's got to keep his bag.
a habit I always
It's the
keep.
law.
Very well,
Just
sir.
habit.
Ah. And as this all is going on, Dr. Hughes wanders into the hall.
Hello,
I
Dr.
heard a lot of
Hughes.
commotion. Ah,
Salutations and greetings.
you're back, and I see you've brought friends.
Yes, I have the book right here. Can we close the door?
Yes, Daisy, shut the door.
Okay.
Mr. Williams, I believe, you were at the talk yesterday. Were you not? Thought I saw
Oh,
you
I
there.
was. I did not know you paid such attention.
Well, I
It
have
was very interesting.
read your books. Very enlightening. Very enlightening indeed.
Glad you enjoyed.
Please, I'm afraid we haven't got any, supper ready just yet. I wasn't expecting guests, in such quantities, but please come through.
Oh, well,
come
how
through.
about a toast? A toast to success? Because I have the book here. And these are technically co-owners. They're more than willing to part over the book. They just have a couple questions, really more about like book trading and
Before we
nerd
get to anything
stuff.
else, I don't think I've been fully introduced to,
Oh, absolutely. This is John Greaves. He is a librarian, not that type of librarian that we're talking about.
I think I've seen you, the Bodleian.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And this is Dr. Mortimer Davenport.
Dr.
And I'm purposely trying to talk fast and distract and disorient. This is Dr. Mortimer Davenport. That is D'Angelo Williams. I am Ignatius, the Grand Magician, Keeper of Secrets, all of that good stuff. And so now we're all good, prim and proper, and friendly friends.
Well, certainly. Please take a seat. Daisy, would you fetch some tea? Daisy will bring us some tea up. Just a moment.
Could you bring that whiskey, maybe? That wonderful whiskey that you had?
It's just in the cabinet here.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I can pour you a glass. There you go.
Don't mean to invite myself, but this feels like a momentous day. I'm in a wonderful mood. You can understand, given my predicament, right?
Yes. Now, this is the book, then. Yes, indeed. He reaches out to take the book.
Yeah, I do hand it over to him.
Yeah.
These are technically the co-owners.
Dr. Hughes, I'm a trader of books myself. I have a shop in London.
I can pay you for it if necessary. Don't worry.
You have an interest in books and artifacts and those sort of things?
I am a historian, yes.
Was there anything in particular you were after?
Currently, this book. Yes.
I meant artifact-wise, or unusual items like that.
Well, I don't know how much did Ignatius tell you about his situation and the matter.
Oh, they have full disclosure. They have full
Excellent.
disclosure.
Well, the only artifact in question that I was in search of was the one that was in Arthur Walsh's possession. It was not It seems to have disappeared shortly after his death. His wife auctioned off his widow auctioned off a good deal of his belongings, but the pyramid was not among the artifacts auctioned off, so
Pyramid?
I don't know what became of it. Yes, a small red glass pyramid about this large. One of a set.
Keep a question. I don't think Mortimer's seen anything like that.
No.
He hasn't, but
No,
yeah.
He has not.
It's on a mantelpiece in a bedroom in this society.
Yes, but Mortimer is a gentleman. He's not been into Elsie's bedroom.
Keeper?
Yes?
When he says pyramid, does that trigger anything with me? Any dreams? Anything?
Not at this moment, no.
Okay.
Yes, one of a set, but well.
Was there anything unusual about this pyramid? Material or?
It seems to be. Well, I presume it is what Arthur used as the center point for his ritual. The ritual. A ritual that's designed to connect minds both with each other, but also left a little open, I believe, to anything else out there that might have been able to reach in and take hold. If that pyramid itself was associated with some such entity, then might have called it into the ritual.
Yeah, probably not the best thing to do.
No, but Arthur was never the best at wise decisions. He took all the worst of what John taught him, and quite a few different John, and ran with it. Rightfully competent.
Could we please not speak too ill of my friend?
Oh, I'm sorry. He was a very enthusiastic explorer of the unknown.
It's courageous and caring.
Yes. Well, More or less, this is what I've remembered. Did any of you gentlemen have a chance to look over this book whilst it was in your possession?
I've read it 3 times. I know it backwards and forwards.
Well,
I haven't myself.
let's see. 1, 2, 3, 5 of us. That should be sufficient for carrying out the ritual.
Daisy won't be helping
more
us?
than that. No, not including Daisy in this.
Since we're talking about this,
Just a young girl. It would not be right to expose her to such things.
I was trying to make you laugh. I'm sorry. Usually, most of the time, my jokes miss, but not even I have or hit, but not even I have. You know what I mean. Anyway, what are we going to replace the pyramid with?
I have a small statuette in my possession that might do the trick. If my thinking behind this is correct. To drive away one influence, we need an influence of equal or greater power.
Sure, makes sense to me.
Yes. I had an acquaintance.
Does that make sense? Does that make sense to me, Keeper?
Maybe either a cult or mythos roll, depending on what kind of information you want to receive.
Could I make a mythos roll as well?
Yeah.
Can I do both by chance?
I suppose so, yes.
Yes.
So you don't know on a mythos level, but on an occult level, that makes sense for rituals. Ignatius, you think this makes sense, but also is also extremely dangerous. Like, it would require a great power to break the power's hold over you. But if you're not careful, could leave you in a much worse predicament than you began with, depending on if this ritual is correctly performed.
I do want to bring something to our attention, Doctor. See, I have more. My encounters with this are not by choice. At a certain point, it was, and then it wasn't, as you understand. But it seems to me that your logic is completely sound. The only real risk, other than like a botched ritual and things, which I don't think will happen, you're quite good, I know that, is that by invoking a higher power, I might be left worse off.
Only if the ritual goes wrong. If it's performed correctly, we just channel just enough of the power to break the original ritual's hold, without fully exposing any of us to the second entity.
Yes, I'm more than happy to stick my head.
There was always an element of risk to this.
Oh, of course. I'll put my head
a good
in the
amount
lines.
of skill and focus. If any of you gentlemen have any experience in matters of ritual or the use of, feels a little ridiculous saying it at times, but the use of sorcery, then that would be of great use in completing this ritual.
I'm fine with that.
Improve our chances greatly. I was planning to use the undergraduates from the society. They do have some experience, but I think perhaps if we have some actual adults who are not drunken college students, that might be a better option.
When will the tea be here?
Daisy, can you hurry up with that tea? Sorry. She's a little forgetful at times.
Will offer my knowledge in whatever way I can be of service.
Excellent. Well, I don't want to rush into anything. These are things best, considered with time. I am going to consult the phases of the moon. Determine what would be a good night to choose this reversal of your fortunes, this ritual. And
Keeper, can I?
Yes?
Can I vibe check him? Do I feel like he knows what he's talking about, or does he feel like someone who's just making it up?
Yeah, give me a psychology roll. Give me a
Also,
vibe check.
Keeper, could I do a psychology roll as well to see if he's sane?
Yes, go for it.
Basically, to see if he's sane or just sanity is an act. That's a fail.
Greatest expert I've ever met in my life.
You're free to draw your own conclusions. I'm giving you nothing with that.
The rules of the occult
That's
And
have
brutal.
Mortimer,
revealed
you're not
themselves.
entirely sure whether he's sane, insane.
I can't tell.
You can't tell. You've been around too many mad people. The boundaries of
Yeah.
what is sane and what is just.
Even in my case, I've been borderline myself, so.
Yeah. Yes. Well, it'll take some time to prepare this, but I think once this is done, you and any remaining survivors of Arthur's mishap will be freed from their entanglements. And all I ask in return is to be able to keep the Lacey book safe and out of other people's hands for the time being.
Keeper, as he's saying that, he's throwing a lot of shade at Arthur. Can I do a psychology check to see, like, does he really hate this man? Like, what are the depths, like the vibe check, to borrow the language, about him and Arthur?
Yeah, go for it. Give me an Arthur vibe check. This man is a mystery. He is a cipher you cannot read, a box you cannot unlock.
All right, sounds like there's a plan in place.
Wonderful. Well, if you leave this book with... finally! Tea! Shall I pour? Or Daisy?
Yes. No, I think Daisy should pour. Doctor, there is one thing that I want to talk to you about in private. It's a business proposition, separate from my compatriots. I think it's right up your alley. But it's about other artifacts that I might have, some that are said to have disappeared for quite some time, that I have independently.
Give me a fast thought roll here. Give me a bullshit roll. See if we can break this string of failures.
1 second. I'm trying to see. Here we go.
Well, I suppose, gentlemen, would you mind if Mr. Emberath and I just stepped outside for a moment?
No problem. Not at all.
Very well. If you just come through to my study, that'll give us some privacy.
Yes,
Daisy,
absolutely.
make sure these gentlemen have everything they need, refresh their tea if needed. I'm afraid we haven't got any biscuits in at the moment.
Oh, that's fine. So I'll let him take the lead.
Yeah, he leads you through into this crowded little study. It's a little untidy, and he shuts the door behind you. So business proposition.
Yes. Are you familiar with the term dream lore?
I am familiar with dreams and the use of them, yes.
So, I have a lot of knowledge because of this. I know things that I should not necessarily know in regards to dreams and how they work. And I have a collection of notes that I've put together, mostly well organized, nothing scholarly, of course, but the basis of them, my sources, like that, from like my knowledge, things that I know, and then things that I've cross-referenced, it is fairly well organized. And I was wondering if that had any value to you. But then there's another thing that I want to offer, because I like money. I have a lot of knowledge about Cthulhu.
Yes? What sort of knowledge?
22 points worth. A vast, a vast. How would I because this has never come up for me. How would I relay that legitimate knowledge that I have that is reflected in my character sheet into what I'm talking?
Cthulhu mythos covers anything you know about the Eldritch, and so that
Okay.
it's anything you've learned. It's not necessarily related to Cthulhu himself. This is anything you've picked up. So this depends on what it is.
Okay.
Your background on what it is. So your experience with Arthur, what Arthur's was up to.
This was independent of after the incident, when I did a deep dive into anything and everything, and I talked to people who knew anything and everything. So, borrowed phrase, of course, not literally. I learned a lot about Cthulhu himself.
Wow, what a coincidence! That was, I spoke of an entity more powerful than the one that Arthur used to tie his whole little ritual together.
Yes.
Cthulhu was the one I had in mind. He reaches down into his desk drawer and pulls out a small cloth-wrapped bundle. Starts to unwrap. And you see in the centre of this little crouch statuette of...
Well, that's interesting because...
You would recognise a depiction of Cthulhu. I need a sanity roll from you as you set eyes on this then. Because there's something... The first time since you set foot in the house, something is just off about it. Or maybe there isn't. You've seen weirder shit on a Tuesday night.
I don't even flinch. Yes, it's actually this statue that I've seen in multiple books.
Yes.
This very one.
This one
yes.
has power within it.
It does. But then I've heard another thing.
Yes?
I've heard another thing. Now, I don't know how... If I say this and it's unsavory, then I don't mean... I'm just speaking theoretically. Academically. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
In my studies, sometimes if you invoke Cthulhu, it goes better if you also use a sacrifice of something living.
That seems a little overkill for this situation.
Well, when your neck's in the gallows, it means a lot.
I'm not sure if your companions would be happy with that line of thinking, now would they?
But what they see is only what you show.
Well, you are the stage magician, not I.
Then they'll see
I am not
nothing.
sure I could sacrifice someone on your behalf without them rather noticing it.
Well, it wouldn't be one of my friends. I mean, I don't like them that much, but, they are my friends.
No, not one of them.
And it wouldn't be Daisy.
Of course not. The best maid I've ever had.
I bet. Anyway, I mean, I don't know, like, if you had somebody, not on hand, of course, but somebody who does these sorts of things, because, like, anyway.
No, I think I could think of a suitable candidate, if that was needed.
Could we do it tonight, by any chance? I know I'm asking a lot, but you don't get a yes unless you ask.
I mean, the moon conditions were probably not in our favour, but if we had the additional assistance of a sacrifice, that would
And they are
probably
skilled.
tip us
They're
over the
skilled.
edge.
They are skilled. And I'm experienced myself.
You're very keen to break this, aren't you?
Yes! Because I see them all the time, and what's happened to them all the time. When I close my eyes, I relive every second all at once.
Okay. Well,
Even when I'm in coitus.
I did not need that information. Thank you very much.
It kills the mood a bit. I got used to it, but...
Well, What would you need to carry out your sleight of hand, your own trickery?
We would just need a large table, and then that person muffled and put under the table.
Well... I do have quite a good table in the dining room. Would my table be damaged by this incident? Because that is a family heirloom.
No, I mean, they'd be restrained, so they shouldn't.
Okay. Well, tonight, you say?
Yes, I want my freedom. And if it goes well, I'll give you my notes free of charge. Maybe just speak my name in places where successful people are.
You do realize that once you do this, there's no turning back.
Yeah, I
You
haven't
can't
been able to turn back for
unsacrifice
years.
someone.
Well, I know that the concept of our God in heaven and hell doesn't exist. So who gives a shit?
Pure nonsense. Yes. Well, alright. How do we do this?
I take the compatriots outside for a little party or up to like a room where you might have more guests and you have time to get everything set up.
I have to host a party now.
No, I mean, like, you just give us more glasses. You give us a little bit more whiskey and water, so we stay sober, but just a little bit, and then we're somewhere else while you do what you need to do.
Fine.
That's all.
Well, they're in the drawing room. That's where the drinks cabinet are. You keep them in there.
Okay.
And I will put a call through, and I should be able to. I think.
Can I get a vibe check to make sure that I'm the one who's double crossing him and he's not double crossing me?
Give me a psychology roll, please.
Could it be something that's not that?
No, that is the vibe check roll.
But it's my birthday.
You can't play that card. I mean, I know it is your birthday, but still, no.
Oh, it is my birthday!
It's your birthday. Please roll me 1d10 and add that to your psychology roll, as the universe has heard your plea. And that's a critical success. You seem like he seems to be buying into your deception, but also you get the idea that he will, if given any opportunity to screw you over and still get what he wants out of you, do so at the first instant.
Okay, so my initial impression of him 30 seconds into the first paragraph of his dialogue was, yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go.
Yes,
let's go. I'm down with it. I'm down.
Yeah, don't forget to add 1d10 to your psychology.
I will. Can I roll that after the session?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, right, as you return to the others in the drawing room, did the rest of you want to do anything else in the time between Ignatius leaving and Ignatius returning?
Dr. Manoa.
I'm assuming Daisy's brought the tea out.
Yes.
And probably brought enough cups for everyone of us.
Yes.
Daisy, do you know how Dr. Hughes takes his tea?
Oh, he's 1 sugar, no milk.
That's good to know. And I'll I'll pour his ready for him. What she's about. May as well have it ready for us all. Hopefully it won't be too long. There doesn't seem to be that many people around.
What, here?
Yeah,
No.
servant-wise, I mean,
It's just me.
It keeps you busy.
He takes his meals at the college most of the time, so it's just a bit of cleaning and a few cups of tea.
So there's no one else around here then?
No, just me.
Oh, how would we be able to contact you if we need to have a top-up of the tea?
Oh, just ring the bell. I'll be downstairs.
Oh, thank you. Hopefully we won't be keeping you too busy or up too late.
Oh no, don't. It's my job. Don't feel bad about ringing me.
It just seems a bit rude.
Not at all, sir. Just ring if you need anything.
Will do.
And she gives a little curtsy and departs.
And I'm going to drug the cup of tea. That was where what's his name? Dr. Hughes had been sitting, or the one that seems to be his.
Yeah.
And I'll also just add the 1 sugar and mix that in. Is there anything unusual about this room? I'll just have a look around this room, see if there's...
Looking around, there's some nice, comfy chairs around a fine fireplace. There's a lovely walnut drinks cabinet. There is a bookshelf with various books of folklore and Anglo-Saxon history. Several titles that appear to be in German as well. There are some photographs framed on the mantelpiece above the fire, and a portrait of a man. Let me get my years correct. My eras. Youngish man, probably about turn of the century, so 1800 or so clothing. Standing with hunting hounds. Yeah, if there's anything you want to look at more closely, let me know.
I'll have a look at the picture, like the picture with several people on. The photographs that shows a number.
The photographs on the mantelpiece.
Yes, to see if I recognise any of them. For example, I've probably seen pictures of Sir John.
You see there's various pictures of various classes worth of Oxford students. Lots of graduation. There's recent ones. As photography is getting more common.
True.
But there is one much. Let me. Please let me just check the history of photography. Please not. There's a couple of recent ones of recent Oxford students. There's also what appears to be, amongst these photographs, a sketch of, a rough sketch of several people having a little picnic with one of the colleges, with what you would recognise as Merton Meadow and the colleges in the background. All the others are just graduation photographs.
Yeah, so this room is more like a reception room rather than a study, or... Yeah. Well, anyone have any plans what we should do?
D'Angelo's gonna look around for any occult artifacts, either real or fake, anything out of the unusual.
Nothing in display in this room that strikes you as occult.
Be scanning around looking for the book that I had held. Was part of the disappearance of my original doctor friend.
No sign of that in this room either.
Any signs of the burned carpet mark from the last time? The
carpet in here is unburnt. And as you finish looking around, that is probably when Ignatius will return from his meeting in the study.
Does the carpet look like it was new enough that it might have replaced one that had been burned?
It is a new carpet, yes.
Gentlemen, head up. I am going to relay basically everything that the doctor just discussed, and be like, so we're just gonna pretend to have a drink or two, have fun, keep it cool. I'm whispering, and then he's gonna have whatever human sacrifice he has underneath that table, and that's when we'll make our move, just before he starts the ritual. Okay? So I don't know if we need to drug him or not. I think we don't want to. I think we just want to swap out his tea. And I think this will be good. He said that it's just us here. There's no cultists coming.
All right.
Okay, so we have a different plan then.
Yeah, it came to me, and I just started. Once I saw an angle.
Well, hopefully it goes well.
Okay. So, as you are ready and waiting for Dr. Hughes to return with a sacrifice ready to carry out this ritual, that is going to be where we're going to end for tonight. As I don't want to rush through it. You can't rush a sacrificial ritual. It's just not the same. You need to...
It's not right. That's not what we stand for on this actual play.
Yeah, we stand for proper respect to murdering poor innocent victims.
That's right. We respect the life that we disrespect. That's how that works.
So we will pick up with that next week. And thus, John Greaves survives yet another week long. I'm convinced he's just going to retire back to being a librarian and live to the grand old age of like 98. Completely healthy and well.
You never know. Or he'll just have an unfortunate accident and fall off a bookshelf or something like that.
It's Johan. Johan will kill him. It'll be Johan.
He'll fall off a ladder
as
soon as you left Oxford.
Survives all the Eldritch horrors and then has an accident.